great thing about this ride is it kind of slowly reveals itself in parts. So we've started round, all the way around the corner around there, and then come some lovely single track around a farm up onto this double track. And in fact, right above us there, side to the right, is Capel Mounth, and that's where we're coming down. And then, not being able to see very much there, go past all these huge things here on this double track, which slowly deteriorates, unfortunately, into a boulder field higher up the valley there. And then hidden around the corner, so again, hidden around the corner, you can see the trees there, and in there we then start going very much straight up, not straight up, but pretty steeply up, and onto the back of this huge lump here in front of us, which is just sitting here, this massive lump of rock blocking the valley. Up the top of that, over to the back, over the top of all of this, down the other side, and then start to climb up the Capel Mounth, come back again in a big circuit. But all of these sections like this, they're all hidden one by one, so they all reveal themselves one at a time. And this is right at the start of April, and it is roasting and completely dry. This should be full of puddles and all sorts. It's the snow on the top. It's a bit mad really, but should be an awesome ride. I'm basically doing this because the last time I put a video out of a descent, I got a comment, which is fair enough, what's the ascent like? And kind of my response to that was, you don't really want to see that. That's the track. It's been miraculously improved, marvellously. In fact, I'll just swing back again. It's a beautiful gravel track now. It's a wee bit steep in places, but it's beautiful. Beautiful gravel track all the way up underneath the crags. And now I've got to the trees, which you may have seen in the last bit of video in the wee bridge here, and the burn running underneath it is actually creating a wee gorge. It's absolutely beautiful, stunning here. The car park is rammed. The trail, I've seen one other person on it. It's lovely and quiet here. And where we're going to go is, well, it starts with steps. It's about 200-300 yards, and you may just be able to see it. I'll try and zoom in a wee bit. There's another line of trees up there through the woods, and that's where we're heading to. And basically what you see is the skyline there is where we're going to head to next. If you can hear me over it, just behind me there, it's a waterfall. We're just crossing the wee gorge, and I'm going to break out of the trees and start climbing the path up behind me there. So today, amazing, we're going to break out into the sun, and then we're going to head up there for a wee while. Not as long as you might think, but yeah, that's where we're heading next. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. I'm just doing this on my phone. Hopefully the wind noise isn't too bad. Down there we're just rounding out the climb up now, so this is the last chance we can see down into the valley. It's all the way around there with a forestry plantation down there. That's the Glen Doll campsite. We've been all the way along that valley. On that track you can see there, and then obviously we've got this big grassy lump in the way because we've rounded out, and those are the tops of that's the tree line above the push up, and you can see here of the track. So this little bit here is actually steeper than it might look, so I'm still pushing. This little track makes its way up through the heather. Once we reach the skyline over there, we should start getting a sandy path, which will become increasingly rideable as we round out even more and head for the summit of the climb. It's a beautiful view up here. You can see the track coming up there. And I've pushed up that. I'll give you a wee guide in a second. That's Capel Mounth. We're going to descend from, but we've got the last little bit of this ascent and the descent to do. There's the track we're going up. I pushed it here. I'm going to ride from here. Now this is a point where I can now see some hills on the skyline there, and a big white thing. We'll find out what the white thing is in a minute. It's a Loch Muick. Okay, so those have just popped over the skyline now, and that's when I reckon it is a good time to start riding. We're past all the worst of the water paths. You're not going to have to ride up multiple steps, jump on, jump off. If jumping off and jumping on is your thing, if massive water bars going uphill is your thing, then knock yourself out. But for me, just pushing up to here nice and steady, save my legs for the rest of the day. That's the thing for me. Beautiful, beautiful view.
I would say the big white thing is Balmoral Mountain Rescue Team. Guess we'll find out what's going on in a bit. Ooh. Hi.
Now we're up the top, we'll just have a quick look around. So this track out here goes straight to this bit of Glen Doll along the top of the ridge. Beautiful view from up there. Beautiful view over down in this hole here is Loch Muick, which makes this. That's Loch Muick, mighty Loch Muick down there. And Cairngorms over towards Balmoral, and that track is a track. It's on Dave's trip, and that's the descent from Broad Cairn, which is up there, which is another Munro, which is where we're not going. And we discovered what the white things up the top, because the RAF Mountain Rescue and Aberdeenshire Mountain Rescue are up here at the heart. It's very quiet, so I'm hoping it's just an exercise. And that is our turn off. That's where we're going down there, that way towards Loch Muick.
Here come the views. You got everything you need? You alright?
Yeah, we're just running it watching.
Nasty square edges on these. Ooh, that's loose. We're over there, so it's going to get a bit more blocky and steppy. Quite a long way to go yet. It's not worth killing the bike or one of the wheels over. So some of these big water bars are actually using a bit of front brake to help me lift up the back wheel. I'm actually running a mullet, so the front will go over things that the back won't necessarily. And it's mostly just because of the 650B frame, and there's plenty of debate over how you mullet the 650B plane, but I just bunged a 10mm shorter suspension, 29 and fork on the front of this, and works a treat. But I do have to make sure that I'm looking after that little bum size wheel on the back with some bits. Oh yeah. It's not very easy. There's
enough that I've never attempted it.
3 people walking down, I think, behind me. Oh yeah. I recognise your bike. I might disappear into that bush in a second. There's been a few close calls. Anyway, welcome to the head of Loch Muick. Awesome. Right in the middle of the Cairngorms. Oh. Hear me over the wind, which is in my face right now. We're just approaching the other end of Loch Muick, and we're going to take the track across the front of it and down to the right, the stand of trees. Tricky. The other side. The other side of the boat ship. Oh, grappled out. So now I've dropped out. Oh. the trees that you could see, which you'll probably see in a minute. Oh. Almost in front, they'll be off to the left. Not one's right in front. Are hiding the Loch Muick car park. Where's your access from the Braemar? Hiya. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah, it's beautiful here, isn't it? And what you can see in front of you is the back of the Capel Mounth, so we've got to climb up over that to get to the back to Glen Doll. Got a nice bit of estate, right double track, which will hopefully be in a similar state to this, because this is awesome. Anyway, let's crack on. So that was a nice ride around Loch Muick. Probably 3 or 4 sides of it. It's better than the track along the shore. And now we're on the track up onto Capel Mounth, which pretty much makes its way largely at this angle up to the horizon. You can see right in front up there. And then up some more. Not quite so steep. And then an amazing descent. The second one of the day. Whew. What are we? 5th of April. It's roasting. And dry. But mostly roasting. A little bit of a breeze, but not very much. But I know I haven't mentioned this. Can't believe I haven't mentioned this. No midges. Not one in sight. Oh, there. Let's crack on, mate. Every pedal stroke. There's a pedal stroke closer to the top. And there's no rush.
I don't know if percentages mean anything to you, if you're a latent roadie, but apparently this is 11% this bit of track. Anyway, taking a wee break and looking down Loch Muick. Now you might zoom in, you might just be able to pick out a diagonal line across the hillside there, and that is our route down. Then we went around the end of the loch on the right and up the right hand shore. That's Broad Cairn, which is above where we hit the track by the shed and the mountain rescue team. And this here, that there is Mighty Loch Muick up there, and Meikle Pap on the right. Can't remember the name of the little one on the left. That's Loch Muick there. And then going round, and that's a spettle of Loch Muick, or a spettle of Glen Muick, down there where we've just come up from at the head of the loch. If you come up to here and then you go up to Broad Cairn, that's a Munro. There's 2 Munros back here. This here is another Munro. Then there's Loch Muick, and you can get a choice of coming down and around, or you can come down and down this, which is a bit mad once you get into the gorge. Actually, it's not that gorge, it's that gorge down there, and then you come along the shoreline. And that's the loop of Loch Muick, which has got about 5 Munros in it. It's a big day out. Anyway, back to, is it or isn't it, 11% up this hill.
As we get to the top of this bit, the view opens up. Oh, glorious. So this is the flat bit on the top. So that's Capel Mounth in front. Ooh. We've got Cairngorms, Loch Muick, heading out into the Cairngorms there, if you can see it. Benan probably, but I'm not 100% sure. It's absolutely beautiful, and now we've got a slightly chilly breeze, which is awesome, let me tell you. Oh, of course, in front we've got Coire and Drish. I think Coire is the one on the left and Drish is the one on the right. It's lemon roads as well, so we're surrounded by the things. Now I've got a little bit of respite and the last climb up to the top, I think. Looks gorgeous, and the track's been well treated. A pleasure. See you at the top. Still climbing. You thought you got to the top, you can actually see it. Still get a bonus descent first. Back into climb mode. This is amazing. Oh, it's lovely. There's not a lot of mountain left around here, I think. We're going to take a turn for the downwards. We're at the top of the Capel Mounth descent. Oh look, it looks like the starting gates there. I don't think they are. Anyway, before I take that track there, I am going to go see the view.
That's Glen Doll, and actually put the bird finger in, there we go, down there, that's Jock's Road going up between this lump and this lump. we went along the valley, along the bottom there. There we go, take the finger out so it then refocuses actually on the valley. And we went up there, I don't know whether you can see, I'll zoom in a little bit. The track going up the valley there, that's where we went. And then so we went up there, up over onto that, across the top, under Broad Cairn, which is the pointy one over there, and behind this big lump and down the other side.
And now to find out why we put all that effort into getting up here. Capel Mounth descent. Rutty splendour, it seems. Oh, that's a lot and a half. Sorry. A bit nasty. Targets. Follow the track. Not the water. That was a bit big, a bit pointy. rideable. And there you have it. And that was Chaise and the Capel Mounth loop from Glen Doll. An awesome day out on the bike. Cue chilled out music. Nice if I hadn't done that. Right, where were we? Oh good.